Listen carefully, because this is something many people never learn until it is too late. One of the biggest mistakes you can make in your life is comparing your journey with someone else's journey. The moment you start measuring your life against another person's life, you begin stealing your own peace, your own confidence, and your own focus. And let me tell you something with absolute honesty. Comparison is a silent thief. It doesn't knock on your door loudly. No, it whispers. It slowly convinces you that you are behind, that you are not enough, that you should be somewhere else in life, right now. And suddenly you look around. Someone bought a new car. Someone got promoted. Someone is traveling the world. Someone is getting recognition. And what happens? Your mind begins asking dangerous questions. Why not me? What am I doing wrong? Why am I so far behind? But listen to me very carefully. Who told you that you are behind? Who created this imaginary race? Your life is not a competition. Your life is a journey. And every journey has a different road, a different speed, and a different destination. Imagine two people climbing two different mountains. One mountain may be smaller, smoother, easier to climb. The other may be steep, rocky, and full of obstacles. Now tell me, would it make sense for the person climbing the difficult mountain to compare their speed with the person climbing the easy one? Of course not. But this is exactly what we do in life every single day. We open social media, we watch people's highlight reels, and suddenly we feel like failures. We compare our behind-the-scenes struggles with someone else's best moments, and that comparison destroys motivation, destroys self-belief, destroys focus. Destroys focus. Listen, the moment you stop comparing yourself to others, something powerful happens inside you. Your energy returns, your confidence begins to grow again, your mind becomes clear, because now you are no longer wasting energy looking sideways. Now you are looking forward. And that is where growth begins. Instead of asking, why is someone ahead of me? Start asking a better question. Am I better than I was yesterday? That is the only comparison that truly matters. Not you versus someone else. You versus the person you used to be. Because when you constantly compare yourself with others, you start chasing their dreams instead of building your own. You start living according to their timeline instead of respecting your own timing. But life doesn't work like that. Success has different schedules for different people. Some people bloom early, some bloom later. But blooming late does not mean blooming less. Remember this deeply. The sun and the moon both shine, but they shine at different times. The sun does not look at the moon and say, why am I not glowing at night? And the moon does not complain, why can't I shine during the day? Each one respects its own moment. And your moment will come too. But it will never come if you keep looking at someone else's path instead of walking your own with courage, patience, and unshakable belief in yourself. Let me tell you something very powerful, something that many people spend their entire lives trying to understand. The relationship you have with yourself will determine the direction of your entire life. If you don't know your worth, the world will decide it for you. And the world can be very cruel when you don't value yourself. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you doubted yourself? How many times have you looked in the mirror and thought, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not smart enough, maybe I'm not talented enough? Maybe I'm not talented enough. Those thoughts, those silent whispers in your mind, they slowly build walls around your potential. And before you even try, you convince yourself that you cannot win. But listen to me carefully. The problem is not that you are not capable. The problem is that you have not recognized the value that already exists inside you. Every human being carries something unique. A talent, a perspective, a strength, a voice that no one else in the world can replicate. And yet many people spend their lives trying to become someone else instead of discovering who they truly are. They imitate, they copy, they hide their real identity because they believe that who they are is not enough. But the truth is, your power begins the moment you accept yourself. Not the perfect version of yourself. Not the version that society expects. I'm talking about the real you. The one with flaws, with scars, with mistakes, with lessons learned through pain. That is the version of you that deserves respect. You see, when you start accepting yourself, something incredible happens. Your confidence no longer depends on applause. Your happiness no longer depends on validation. You stop begging for approval because you already understand your value. And when you understand your worth, you start making different decisions. You stop tolerating disrespect. You stop chasing people who treat you like an option. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. Because a person who knows their worth does not need to scream it to the world. Their actions speak. Their boundaries speak. Their presence speaks. Let me be very clear with you. Self-acceptance does not mean you stop improving. No, not at all. It means you respect who you are while working to become better every day. It means you recognize that growth comes from love, not from self-hatred. Some people believe they must criticize themselves constantly to improve. They believe harsh self-judgment will push them forward. But that approach breaks the spirit. Growth comes when you treat yourself with patience and understanding. Imagine talking to yourself the way you talk to someone you truly care about. Encouraging yourself. Forgiving your mistakes. Learning from your failures, instead of punishing yourself for them. That kind of mindset builds unshakable confidence. And once you reach that point, once you truly understand your worth, the opinions of others lose their power over you. Criticism no longer destroys you. Rejection no longer destroys you. Because deep inside, you already know something important. You know that your value is not determined by someone else's opinion. Your value is determined by the courage you have to stand in your truth, to believe in your potential, to believe in your potential, and to keep moving forward even when the world doubts you, and even when your own mind tries to convince you that you are less than what you truly are. Because the moment you fully accept yourself is the moment you finally unlock the strength that has been waiting inside you all along. Listen carefully, because this lesson can completely change the direction of your life, if you truly understand it. Your energy is one of the most valuable resources you have. And your time is something you will never get back. Yet many people waste both of these precious gifts on things that do not deserve them. They spend their days worrying about people who do not care about them, arguing with negativity, chasing approval, and trying to please everyone around them. And slowly, without even realizing it, their focus disappears, their strength fades, and their dreams begin to feel heavier and heavier. Think about this honestly for a moment. How many times have you said yes to something you didn't want to do? How many times have you allowed someone's negativity to sit in your mind for hours, maybe even days? One rude comment, one unfair criticism, one toxic conversation, and suddenly your entire day feels ruined. Your mind keeps replaying it again and again. Your energy is drained. Your focus is gone. But here is the truth that many people never learn. Not everything deserves your attention. You must learn to protect your energy the same way you protect your most valuable possessions. Because when your energy is constantly being pulled in different directions, you cannot move forward. You cannot grow. You cannot become the person you are meant to be. This is why focusing on yourself requires something very powerful: boundaries. And I know many people are afraid of that word. They believe that setting boundaries will make them seem rude, selfish, or distant. But let me tell you something very clearly. Boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about protecting your peace. When you start valuing your time, you begin making stronger decisions. You stop giving endless explanations for why you cannot attend something that does not align with your priorities. You stop answering every negative voice that tries to pull you down. You stop allowing people to occupy space in your mind when they have done nothing to earn that space. Because here is a powerful truth. Every minute you spend worrying about unnecessary drama is a minute you are not investing in your growth. Look at the most focused and successful people you admire. Do you think they have time for every distraction, every argument, every meaningless conversation? Of course not. They guard their time. They protect their mental space. They understand that if they want to build something meaningful in their lives, they cannot allow every opinion and every distraction to enter their world. And you must learn to do the same. Sometimes protecting your energy means saying no, even when others expect a yes. Sometimes it means walking away from conversations that drain you. Sometimes it means reducing contact with people who constantly bring negativity into your life. that does not make you selfish. It makes you wise. Because the truth is, if you constantly give your energy away to everyone else, there will be nothing left for your own dreams, nothing left for your own growth, nothing left for the life you want to create. So start asking yourself a powerful question. Whenever something tries to take your time and attention, is this helping me grow? Or is it pulling me away from who I want to become? If the answer is the second one, you must have the courage to step back, protect your focus, and remind yourself that your time, your energy, and your peace are too valuable to be wasted on anything that does not move you closer to the person you are capable of becoming. Let me tell you something that most people do not understand when they face pain, failure, or hardship. When life becomes difficult, the first reaction of many people is to ask, "Why is this happening to me?" They feel defeated. They feel unlucky. They feel like the world has turned against them. And sometimes the pain becomes so heavy that they start believing their story is over. But listen to me very carefully. Pain is not always the end of your story. Sometimes pain is the beginning of your transformation. Think about the strongest people you admire. The people who inspire others. The people who speak with wisdom. The people who carry strength in their eyes. Do you really believe their lives were easy? Do you believe they reached that strength without struggle? Absolutely not. Strength is not created in comfort. Strength is created in the moments when life pushes you down and you decide to rise again. Pain has a strange power. It can either destroy you, or it can shape you, it can break your spirit, or it can awaken a strength inside you that you never knew existed. The difference is not the pain itself. The difference is how you choose to respond to it. You see, every challenge carries a lesson. Every failure carries information. Every setback is trying to teach you something about yourself, about life, about resilience. But many people are so focused on the suffering that they never stop to ask the most important question. What can this experience teach me? Instead of letting pain define you, you must learn to use it as fuel. Maybe you experience rejection. Instead of believing that rejection means you are not good enough, you must ask yourself how you can grow from it. Maybe you failed at something important. Maybe you failed at something important. Instead of letting that failure destroy your confidence, you must study it, learn from it, and come back stronger. Maybe someone doubted you, criticized you, or underestimated you. Instead of carrying that negativity as a burden, turn it into motivation. Because sometimes the greatest breakthroughs in life come from the deepest struggles. Think about a piece of coal under pressure. For years it is buried in darkness, squeezed, crushed by enormous weight. But that same pressure over time transforms it into a diamond. The pressure did not destroy it. The pressure revealed its true potential. And the same is true for human beings. Some of the most powerful people in the world were shaped by hardship. They faced obstacles that seemed impossible. They experienced moments when everything felt broken. But instead of surrendering to the pain, they decided to learn from it. They decided to grow through it. And that decision changes everything. Because once you understand that pain can become a teacher, you stop fearing it as much. You begin to see challenges differently. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin asking, "What strength is this situation trying to build inside me?" And suddenly your perspective changes. The struggle becomes a classroom. The failure becomes a lesson. The obstacle becomes an opportunity to become wiser, stronger, and more prepared for the future that is waiting for you. Because the truth is that the most powerful version of yourself is often built in the moments when life feels hardest, and when you decide that instead of allowing the pain to defeat you, you will transform it into the very force that pushes you forward. Let me ask you something honestly. How many times have you followed a path simply because everyone else was walking on it? Not because it truly inspired you, not because it felt right in your heart, but because it felt right in your heart, but because society said, "This is the correct way." Many people spend their entire lives doing exactly that. They follow the crowd, they follow expectations, they follow pressure, and slowly, without realizing it, they lose their own voice. You see, the world has a powerful influence on our decisions. Family expectations, social pressure, trends, opinions, comparisons, comparisons, all of these things push us towards certain directions. Sometimes people choose careers they don't love because others told them it was safe. Sometimes they stay in situations that make them unhappy because they are afraid of judgment. Sometimes they silence their dreams because the crowd told them those dreams were unrealistic. But listen carefully. The crowd does not know your purpose. The crowd cannot see the vision that lives inside your mind. The crowd cannot feel the passion that burns in your heart. The crowd cannot feel the passion that burns in your heart. And if you spend your life following every voice around you, you will eventually wake up one day feeling lost, wondering why your life does not feel like it truly belongs to you. Building your own path requires courage. Real courage, because the moment you decide to follow your own direction, something interesting happens. Not everyone will understand you. Some people will question your choices. Some will doubt you. Some will even try to convince you to return to the safe path that everyone else is following. And that moment is where your strength is tested. It takes confidence to walk in a direction that others cannot yet see. It takes belief to keep moving forward when people around you are unsure about your decisions. But every meaningful achievement in this world started with someone who was willing to step away from the crowd. Think about it. Every innovation, every breakthrough, every inspiring story came from someone who refused to simply follow the path that was already built. They had the courage to create a new one. Now, this does not mean rejecting advice or ignoring wisdom from others. Learning from people is valuable. Guidance can be powerful. But there is a difference between learning from others and surrendering your identity to their expectations. You must listen, but you must also think for yourself. Because your life is not a copy of someone else's life. Your dreams are not identical to anyone else's dreams. And the timeline of your success will not look exactly like the timeline of those around you. Some people will move faster in certain areas. Some will take longer. Some will discover their purpose early, others later. But none of that matters if you are moving in a direction that truly aligns with who you are. When you start building your own path, something powerful begins to happen inside you. You stop living to impress people. You stop making decisions based on fear of judgment. Instead, your choices begin to reflect your values, your goals, your purpose. And that kind of life feels different. It feels authentic. It feels meaningful. Yes, the road may sometimes feel uncertain. Yes, there will be moments when you question yourself. But remember this powerful truth. A person who follows their own path may face obstacles, but they will never face the regret of knowing they lived someone else's life instead of their own. Because the moment you stop chasing the direction of the crowd and start trusting the direction of your own vision is the moment you begin creating a life that truly belongs to you. Let me tell you something that many people ignore until years have already passed. The greatest investment you will ever make in your life is not a house, not a car, not even a business. The greatest investment you will ever make is the investment you make in yourself. Your mind, your skills, your character, your discipline. These are the real assets that determine how far you can go in life. Yet look around carefully. Many people are willing to spend hours scrolling through distractions, hours watching things that add no value to their lives, hours complaining about circumstances they refuse to improve. But when it comes to learning something new, improving their thinking, strengthening their character, suddenly they say they don't have time. Listen, the truth is not that people don't have time. The truth is that many people do not prioritize their own growth. And that is dangerous, because the world is constantly changing. Opportunities evolve, industries change, knowledge grows every single day. The person who refuses to learn, refuses to grow, refuses to develop their skills will slowly fall behind. Not because they are not intelligent, but because they stopped investing in themselves. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of knowledge, discipline, and curiosity, that garden will grow into something powerful. But if you leave it unattended, if you fill it with negativity, laziness, and excuses, weeds will take over. So the question becomes very simple. What are you feeding your mind every day? Are you feeding it growth, or are you feeding it distractions? Successful people understand something that others often ignore. They understand that learning never stops. Graduation is not the end of education. It is only the beginning. Every book you read, every skill you practice, every lesson you learn from experience becomes a tool that strengthens your future. But investing in yourself is not only about knowledge. It is also about character. Because skills may open doors, but character determines how long those doors stay open. Integrity, discipline, responsibility, resilience. These qualities cannot be bought, and they cannot be developed overnight. They are built through daily choices. They are built when you choose responsibility over excuses. They are built when you remain honest, even when dishonesty would be easier. They are built when you keep moving forward, even when motivation disappears. And let me tell you something powerful. The person you become internally will always shape the results you experience externally. If you strengthen your mindset, you become more confident when facing challenges. If you strengthen your skills, you become more capable of seizing opportunities. If you strengthen your character, you become someone people trust and respect. This is why focusing on yourself means constantly improving the person you are becoming. Not for the applause of others, not for validation, but because you understand that every day is a chance to grow into a stronger, wiser, more capable version of yourself. Some people wait for opportunities to appear before they start preparing, but the people who truly succeed prepare themselves long before the opportunity arrives. They read, they practice, they learn, they improve quietly while others are distracted. And when the moment finally comes, when the opportunity finally appears, they are ready, not because they were lucky, but because they spent their time building their mind, sharpening their abilities, and strengthening their character, while the rest of the world was busy looking everywhere, except at the one place where the most powerful transformation always begins, within themselves.